Happy Friday evening, everyone. We made it to the end of the week. We survived our ice this morning, and during the midday hours, things went pretty much as expected. This was never going to be a big ice storm for us, the kind of storm that brings down tree limbs and power lines and causes all sorts of havoc. That did not take place. What we did have is kind of a nuisance event with enough sleet and freezing rain that we were scraping some ice off of our cars, and secondary streets, sidewalks, parking lots, they all got a little bit slick during the mid and late morning. But then this afternoon, just as forecasted, we did get above freezing, and here's a snapshot of temperatures during the 4 o'clock hour. It's 34 or 35 downtown, Warren at 35, the airport's a little above freezing, Cortland 35, down in Columbiana it's 35 or 36. The areas that are still struggling just a little bit across western PA are just now sneaking above freezing, 33 in Hermitage, New Wilmington also at 33 degrees. So even over in western parts of the Keystone State, we are warming up enough that we are pretty much in the clear as far as any slick spots go from here on out today and into tonight. Could be a little bit of drizzle tonight, but no big deal there. Here's a look at the National Radar Composite. The precipitation from earlier now pushing into upstate New York, eastern Pennsylvania. We've got showers and even some thunderstorms lining up down along the Gulf Coast. More drought-busting rains for the deep south, and the northwestern U.S. also turning stormy, and this is the start of a very stormy pattern for the west. I'll tell you a little bit more about that coming up very shortly. But let's zoom in on a couple of local radars here, and I'll show you just how quiet it has become. Here's the Cleveland radar. Couple of specks showing up. There can be some drizzle as we head through the next few hours, so you might have to flip on the windshield wipers once or twice. This evening, Pittsburgh radar very quiet aside from a few specks of drizzle trying to show up on the radar here as we head towards sundown. Let's talk about what's going to happen over the weekend. Here's our European computer model, one of our more reliable long-range computer models that goes all the way out through 10 days. As we take a look at the short term, including the weekend, well, here's Saturday afternoon. Low pressure is going to kind of reorganize off the coast of Virginia at the start of the weekend, and this will be a bit of a nuisance for the East Coast once again. Another weekend, another storm for the East Coast. There'll be some snow. It gets up into southern New England. Let me back up to Saturday evening here. Some snow getting into southern New England, including parts of the New York City area up towards Boston. But this system will be too far east for us. We're going to be dry on Saturday. Not exactly a sunny day, but not a bad day either. Seasonable temperatures, and Sunday looks chilly, but we'll see a few peaks of sun as we wrap up the weekend. Some snow showers from extreme northwestern parts of Pennsylvania up near Erie, and then heading up towards Buffalo, Syracuse, and Rochester on Sunday. Next major system to impact us will be during next week. Here it is getting more organized Monday evening. Low pressure down across the Red River Valley, northern Texas and Oklahoma. Lots of moisture ahead of that system. There'll be some severe weather down in the deep south on Monday. All of this moisture heads our way Tuesday. Here's Tuesday morning's weather map with low pressure around St. Louis, Missouri, and rain pushing to the north. This will be mostly rain for us on Tuesday and into Tuesday evening. Could there be some wet snow on the back side of this as the colder air gets drawn in at the end of the day Tuesday? Well, that's possible, but I don't think we're looking at any sort of accumulations here. Then the pattern that sets up beyond Tuesday is a chilly one, even by late February or early March standards. It's going to be pretty chilly outside for the end of next week and heading into next weekend. Notice no major storms showing up across the east, but all of this light green that's kind of over us constantly at the end of next week indicates snow showers, snow flurries. Probably no accumulations, but there's going to be snowflakes flying around from time to time Wednesday all the way through Friday and perhaps all the way through next weekend. It's going to be a cold stretch of weather taking us into the long range. I wanted to talk about that a little bit. Here is a map. This is the American GFS model, and this shows the total snowfall that's expected to accumulate between today and next weekend, all the way through next Sunday. So we're talking about 9 days from now. Zoom in on this a little bit. Again, this is total snow for 9 days. Notice it's going to be pretty snowy across the Midwest. It's going to be pretty snowy in parts of Canada and the Northeast. Notice, though, across the Ohio and Mahoning Valley, not exactly snowy here. There could be a couple of minor accumulations of snow coming late next week into next weekend, but not looking at a lot of snow, just a lot of cold here. The West is going to get pummeled. All of the mountain ranges in the Pacific Northwest and the Rockies will get lots and lots of snow as we head through the next 7 to 9 days. This cold pattern is going to be with us all the way through March, a good chunk of March anyway. This is the GFS model once again showing the temperature deviation from average when you add up all of the days from now until the 10th of March. So this is the overall pattern through the 10th of March, a chilly pattern for the plains, the south, and much of the mid-Atlantic states. The only warm spots will be up across interior Canada, and again, this is all compared to average. It's not going to be in the 80s or anything, but compared to average, it will be warmer than average up across interior Quebec and Ontario. But again, lots of chilly weather for the first 10 days of March across the heartland. Now, here across northeast Ohio, northwestern PA, it's not going to be as chilly as it will be off to the south and the west compared to average, but still not a lot of warmth in sight. And this is a computer model outlook for the entire month of March. Take this with a bit of grain of salt because, of course, these long-range prognostications, easy for me to say, tend to change from time to time, but this has been a pretty consistent forecast for the month of March now for several days. It indicates warm compared to average weather for much of Canada, but chilly in the west, chilly in the Midwest, chilly in the southeast, and overall kind of a normal to slightly below normal month of March is expected here across northeast Ohio and northwestern PA. So we'll be keeping an eye on the long-range trends. Of course, we'll be keeping an eye on the short-range trends as well. I'll be on 21 News tonight at 6 and 11, and Matt Stone will be here in the Weather Center all weekend, keeping you up to date on what should happen over the weekend and during the first part of next week. I'll see you on Monday, and have a great weekend, everyone.